Good morning. This is the public meeting for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026 of the Barnstable Licensing Authority. The meeting is being televised via via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Government Access Channel live stream on the Town of Barnstable's website. My name is Larry Decker. I'm Vice Chairman of this authority, and today I will be filling in as Chairman. And along with me, to my right, is Nancy Carlson-Lidman and Jessica Silva, who are associates on the board. We also have with us Aaron Logan, our Licensing Director, and Consumer Affairs Officer Chris Kelsey. With that, I will say the meeting of the Barnstable Licensing Authority is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 20, I must ask whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to make their presence known. Seeing none, we will move to public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to have a public comment? Seeing none, we'll need an approval of the minutes of March 4th, 2026. May I have a motion for that?
I move to approve the minutes of March 4th.
2026.
Thank you. 2026.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. The next item is public hearings. We have the new annual Section 12 wine and malt license. In accordance with the MGL Chapter 138 and MGL Chapter 140, an application has been filed by the Buttercup Cafe, LLC, DBA, the Buttercup Cafe, 3226 Main Street, Route 6A, Barnstable, to add a new wine and malt license to this existing common victor license. Establishment is currently issued for 49 seats inside and 16 seats outside. Proposed alcohol manager is Melissa Jankowski, and the hours of wine and malt service will be daily from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. with daily operating hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Is there anyone here from the Buttercup Cafe?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair. My name is Attorney Frederick Grosser. I represent the applicant, the Buttercup Cafe, LLC, doing business as the Buttercup Cafe. Melissa Jankowski is also here as well.
Now, you are aware, I assume, that the licensing authority has received a couple letters concerning the Buttercup Cafe?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair.
Aaron, would you like to shed some light on the subject, please?
Sure. We received one letter from Attorney Kenny's office. I'm going to just read the letter into record, if that's okay. This is regarding the Buttercup Cafe request for a new annual wine and malt license for today, March 25th, 2026. This office represents Jeffrey Bazikian as manager of 3220 Main Street, LLC, the record owner of the property located at 3220 Main Street, Barnstable, which directly abuts the Buttercup Cafe. Their client takes no position on the applicant's request for a new annual malt and wine license, but advises the applicant that its employees, invitees, and guests have no right to park on the client's property. And furthermore, the client reserves its rights to tow unauthorized vehicles parked on its property in accordance with Massachusetts general law. And then we did receive a second letter from Attorney Connors. I'm going to just again, regarding 3224 Main Street, Barnstable, Buttercup Cafe, annual wine and malt license. Please be advised, I represent the Dolphin Restaurant, LLC, a family business owned and operated for over 70 years, located at 3250 Main Street, Barnstable Village. The Dolphin takes no position on the annual wine and malt application, but takes issue with the outdoor seating inclusion. As the licensing authority may be aware, there is pending litigation in Barnstable Superior Court. The action styled as the Dolphin Restaurant versus the Town of Barnstable Board of Appeals, docket number 2572-CV-00192. In this action, the Dolphin challenges the determination that the outdoor seating be allowed despite not being consistent with Section 240-57 of the town regulations. It is strongly suggested that consideration of the outdoor seating portion of this application constitutes an abuse of discretion and therefore should not be considered as part of this application. Parking is a persistent and ongoing problem with the landlord of this business. On a regular basis, overflow parking gravitates to the Dolphins' privately owned parking area. It must be noted that the Dolphins' parking area has signage indicating ownership, and allowing a business to reduce their parking footprint will exacerbate the daily parking problem. Further litigation on this subject would be superfluous. The Dolphin reserves the right to tow away any unauthorized vehicles on its property in accordance with Massachusetts general law.
May I address those?
Sure.
Certainly. Firstly, I think all the board may know Melissa. She has been the operator and owner of the Buttercup Cafe since 1999. And certainly since in the last 7 years has certainly worked very, very hard to establish her reputation and build her business and inclusive working mom and mother of two and all of those things that are included. So firstly, let me say a couple of things. Number one, with respect to the Dolphin, we respect Bob Oliver, and certainly Melissa does greatly. I've been going to the Dolphin since 1988, and it is terrific. Certainly, we understand and respect the issues of parking. In fact, Melissa is very sensitive to it, and I can say in her picture window of the restaurant, there is a sign that indicates for all of her patrons to please use the county commissioner lot and do not use any of the adjacent property owners' lots. In addition, Melissa has been that much more proactive in that she has put in her employment agreement that all of her employees are advised to please park in the county commissioner lot. She actually has the employees sign and acknowledge that, so it is well known and almost a condition of employment, one could say, that they ensure they are sensitive to the parking and ensure to park outside of the zone of the local businesses. And the same with Mr. Bazikian in the Barnstable Market. He has done tremendous improvements since owning the property. Could not speak more highly of both of their businesses and both of the individuals. And Melissa certainly feels the same way. So in that regard, again, she has been approved for the 49 seats. She has been approved for the 16 outside seating. I believe our application is in accordance with the ABC and in accordance with the Barnstable Town application as well. She presents herself as certainly, again, a hardworking person. She is a hardworking member of the community. She is a welcomed member of the Barnstable Village. My office has been there for almost 30 years myself. So I would just say, in essence, in the totality of circumstance, we respect and understand their position on the parking. We understand there is an ongoing lawsuit, but respectfully, that does not change the board's prior decisions. And until there is a final court order or appellate court order otherwise, I think in proper standing, she is approved for her current seating, and we would ask for the licensing authority grant and approval for the extension of her common victual license, which is a natural extension of her existing license, to be able to serve wine and malt beverages. Certainly her patrons have inquired, certainly other persons have asked. The only one additional matter we would ask if the board would consider allowing her to serve beverages and food until 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m., as some of the patrons have inquired if it could be a little bit later. So we would ask the board to consider that. But beyond that, we do believe the application is in order. We do believe that it would be proper to approve it. Certainly, Melissa is here to answer any of the board's concerns equally as well. But we would respectfully suggest everything is in order in that regard, and we would ask again for your blessing and approval.
Thank you. I believe it's the board's opinion, to my knowledge, that this is a total civil matter. So as far as everything goes of us approving what you've requested, that we may do that, and that shouldn't be a problem on our end.
It most assuredly is a civil matter and a civil action matter that was filed in the Superior Court. And again, I have reviewed the pleadings, not that that would matter to the board significantly.
Until that gets resolved, and we can move forward with what we have.
Yes, sir.
I would ask Melissa, with regard to her experience of serving malt and wine, are you certified?
I would be recertified. I was certified when I was a general manager of Sienna Restaurant, and I will be recertified and have my employees certified as well.
Okay. Are there any other?
And when is that going to happen?
Well, as soon as I have appropriate approval and documentation, certification, your blessings, I'll
Okay.
make no haste.
Aaron?
Just to kind of substantiate some of your comments, Chair, I have been advised that because the parking matter is civil in nature and the approval of the outdoor dining already exists, I too was directed that until a court of law takes a different position or the building commissioner takes a different position, the outdoor dining is permitted. I think you've demonstrated through your attorney that you are trying to take precautions on parking. It's a tight, the village is very tight as it is, so I think we appreciate that. And just be aware that, you might have some angry customers if they're towed by abutting properties as they are, have the right to do so.
We acknowledge and recognize that aspect, certainly.
Aaron, the only other thing I have a question on is on the 8 PM, do they need to adjust their application or?
No, I think given the fact that this is a public hearing and certainly we have changes that take place during discussions and modifications, I think that is fair enough.
That's the daily operating hours, correct?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Okay. May I have a motion? Are there any other comments? May I have a motion on this, please? Yeah, is there public comment? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Attorney James Connors. I'm here on behalf of the Dolphin. We did submit a letter opposing a portion of this application, certainly nothing regarding the business. It's the outdoor parking, removal of 2 spaces, I understand, to accommodate this new request. I would submit to the board that this current zoning requires considerably more space than what we have allocated. There's only 14 spaces. You're going to remove 2, so then you're down to 12. The Dolphin wants to be a good neighbor. It's the Dolphin's position that the landowner is not being a good neighbor. It's not the Buttercup, them individually. The applicant for the first proceeding was 3224 Main Street. This morning we're 3226 Main Street. I think there's confusion as to who was this approved for. Was it approved for the LLC or was it approved for the Buttercup? And if you look at the decision of the town last year, it clearly indicates that it's 3224, not 3226. As far as the parking goes, again, the Dolphin does not want to be a bad neighbor, does not want to be maligned within the Barnstable Village. They've been there for over 70 years. However, on a daily basis, there is issues with parking. It's the last thing that I would ever suggest to the family to go ahead and start towing vehicles. If you were there and observed in a 2-hour period how many people go from the Barnstable post office to the Dolphin parking, it's repeated. I would suggest that the applicant indicates they'd address it. Well, it hasn't been addressed, and they've been there for quite a while now. They've been there, I believe, since COVID. And unfortunately, it hasn't been addressed. And what's the ultimate remedy is either the board table this portion of it and allow the indoor portion, or the Dolphin can certainly appeal and go ahead and seek an injunction. We did not seek an injunction in the first action, and the basis behind that is there's a gentleman's stay whenever zoning appeals occur. So it's our position that the property owner went ahead and said, let's do 26 instead of 24, if they even thought of that as part of that gentleman's stay. I don't know. The surrounding businesses feel the same way. We're not against them operating a business. We're against them appropriating 2 further parking spaces in an already tight space. Back last year, the attorney for the applicant for 24 indicated that she works in Barnstable Village and hasn't seen any issues with parking at the courthouse complex. Well, I'm there on a weekly basis. There was issues yesterday. And where are they going to go? They're going to go to the Dolphin parking lot, which is the closest and easiest for them. I would also suggest that the post office itself has been utilizing the Dolphin parking spaces. They've had broken down Jeeps there for weeks. We've had a few snowstorms. The owner of 32, 24, and 26 put snow on the Dolphin property, took up over 3 parking spaces. So where does it stop? Does it stop with them trying to work together and not taking further parking spaces away, or is it that we're left with self-help alternatives under the law? And that's our position. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your input, but I would mention again that the only thing that we're faced today is to approve malt and beer. Other than that, the civil matter that's ongoing is something that's we'll have to attend to once it's been resolved. But right at the moment, we're just, sure, please step forward.
Chair, before we hear from Attorney Nickerson, can I just, through you, respond to some of the comments from Attorney Connors?
Please do.
Just because I think they'll provide a little bit of clarification. Why we do this, I don't know, but the town of Barnstable does not necessarily separate out business addresses. So the fire department response address for this property is 3224 Main Street. The liquor license is at 3226 Main Street. That's the business, that's the address for that particular business. Our assessing database does not break that out. So it's more of a post office box situation. I have to, for the sake of the Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission, keep that consistent. So the application was not advertised as 3226 for anything other than that's how it is on the license. All of this does take place at the premise of 3224 Main Street, where various businesses do reside. And I think just additionally and worth mentioning, the outdoor dining did come through the site plan review committee, did receive approval from the site plan review committee, did receive a common victular license for the premise description that you see today. And quite frankly, the reason for the detail is a requirement for advertisement for the alcohol portion of this license. So it's for you to determine, but I would argue that they are already operating with the outdoor dining as approved. And again, I have been told unless the courts or the building commissioner overturn that decision, we are to proceed as already approved.
Good morning.
Morning.
For the record, Patrick Nickerson, Associate Attorney at John Kenny's office, and we represent 3220 Main Street LLC. I would agree.
3220.
3220 Main Street LLC.
Right, thank you.
Yes, sir. I mean, the point's well taken that the issue generally of parking is not really within your purview and that it's a civil matter. I would just ask, could there be some clarity over where the 16 seats outdoors will be located? In reviewing the application, I did see a floor plan showing the 49 interior seats, but I didn't see a comparable plan for the outdoor dining seats. And I think you're within your rights to ask the question for clarity of the location of the outdoor dining seats, even though parking and the ancillary issues might not necessarily be within your purview. Thank you.
Officer Kelsey?
Good morning, everyone. Detective Kelsey, Barnstable Police Department. In regard to the parking issue, I think as everyone stated, parking is an issue down there. It always has been an issue down there. It will always continue to be an issue down there. In my time here at the Barnstable Police Department, which is almost 29 years, that problem has never been solved. It is not going to be solved by whether you issue an alcohol license or not. As far as going to where the parking is, what was it, 2 years ago when this first started, when they first started sitting outside? All right, she's saying 4 or 5 years ago. It was sometime during COVID. I was actually dispatched to this address, and I had concerns at that time because they did take off 2 parking spaces and they blocked them in a matter which I thought was not actually safe to the public. At that point, I mean, I know there was conversation about putting Jersey barriers up so that it would actually protect those parking spaces, and then consequently the people that were seated on the other side of the Jersey barriers. At that time, and if nothing has changed to this point, if you come into the parking lot, you're facing the restaurant. On the left-hand side, that's where those 2 parking spaces were taken away, and that's where the additional seating was. So I'm assuming that's still the same now, and I'm sure that they can confirm that or not. But I mean, we're hearing all this conversation about parking. I think the licensing director, I think that the vice chairman of this authority has stated, we're here today to talk about an alcohol license, and this is a court proceeding that's ongoing. And if the court determines that there's going to be something different down the road, then obviously this authority, the town, whomever, will be able to address that at that time. But to answer your question, if you were looking directly at the building to the left-hand side, I believe that's where the outdoor seating is or has been in the past.
Thank you. I just ask that be confirmed with the applicant. Thank you.
Sure.
The location of the 4 tables are in the same locations they have been since the original 2020 approval. I believe there was a site plan submitted as part of the application previous, and it is in those identical 2 parking spaces. The identical 4 tables have been in the same location for the last 5 years.
Thank you.
So if I may, and what is it that separates those 2 tables from the parking spaces that it abuts?
I think there were flower planters originally for the period of time. They were separated, but I can't say it was per se a Jersey barrier. Certainly, we would be welcoming to anything that would add proper safety, of course. And if it's a Jersey barrier, then of course
And are those planters occluding anything in the abutting parking space, or are they on the side of the seating?
They're within the specific bounds of the 2 parking spaces, so it did not encroach anything further into the lot. I don't want to overstep any bounds and say it at any point in time, but my recollection and view of it on my occasions where it was always within the bounds.
Okay.
It would appear that this has been an ongoing issue for more than just today. So I'm surprised that we're here to approve a malt and liquor license, and we're rehashing things that should have been hashed before. So with that, if there's no other comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the application filed by the Buttercup Cafe, LLC, DBA Buttercup Cafe, 3226 Main Street, Barnstable, to add a new annual wine and malt license to this existing common victualler license, with the service extending from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily operating hours.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Good luck.
And Attorney Nickerson, I'll make sure you get a copy of the plan for your clients.
The next item is a new annual common victor license in accordance with MGL Chapter 140. An application has been filed by Isabella's Pizzeria, Inc., DBA Isabella's Pizzeria, 640 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new annual common victor license with Anna Pito as the manager. Proposal includes seating for 115 patrons with daily hours of operation Tuesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., closed on Monday. And it's and we have some people representing the Isabella's Pizzeria.
Yes, good morning. My name is Ana Pinto, my daughter Emily de Oliveira.
All right, and you're going to, tell me a little bit about the 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. is going to be more of a breakfast style or something along that line?
Yes,
And then you're going to reopen again from 5 to 10. Is this sit down as well as takeout?
yes,
Okay. And you're closed for the, I could go for a good job like this because it looks like there's nap time in there. Does anyone have any comments? All right, may
I move to approve the application filed by Isabella's Pizzeria, Inc., DBA Isabella's Pizzeria, 640 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new annual common victualler license, as submitted.
we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approved? Good luck.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day.
The next item is a new Class 2 auto dealer license. In accordance with MGL Chapter 140, an application has been filed by R.C. Chambers Hyannis Auto Store, LLC. DBA is R.C. Chambers Hyannis Auto Store, 20 Beersis Road, Hyannis, for a new Class 2 auto dealer license with a maximum of 14 vehicles, which includes 11 display, 1 customer, 1 employee, and 1 handicap spaces. Repairs of inventory vehicles will be conducted at 52 Thornton Drive, Hyannis, and 15 Jan Sebastian Drive in Sandwich. Daily hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and closed Sunday. And we someone here from R.C. Chambers, Hyannis.
Giovanni Rivera, good morning. How you guys doing? Yes, so I am looking to see if I can obtain the used car dealership license and the address where previously it was actual Class 2 dealer license. Cape Motors, I think it was the company there before they moved down to, I believe it's in Willow Street. So I just took over, came in there, so looking to do the same business model. I'm not trying to change any parking spots, keep everything the same it is, and just continue the operation business, hopefully under me, and continue to grow. And I looking to do business there at 20 Bears Road, Hyannis.
Now, is this your first operation, or have you been in business?
I've been in business since 2015. I opened my first one in Dennis. Second one I opened in Sandwich, and hopefully everything goes well, Hyannis. So we're trying to expand and grow a little bit more. So it's been a blessing so far. So hopefully we continue to keep doing this and continue here in Hyannis.
Are the other ones all in the same name?
No, it's all different entities.
Different names?
Yeah.
And are they all under, all of those employees are under you?
Yeah, so the first business I opened with my cousin, so he's in full operation in that business. I have part in that business. The second one is fully me and the same team, but right now this is going to be a whole different setup. So it's going to be mostly just me and one other person, because I do live in Centerville, so it's much better for me being in Hyannis.
And these are all used cars?
Used car dealerships and Sandwiches, repair sales and service, and I also do towing. So Sandwich is more like towing and sales. Services and sales. So that's why I'm using that address to fix vehicles, and also 52 Thornton Drive. I have a repair guy that does all my services as well. So I want to just continue doing the same system, but just under this Hyannis dealership.
Okay. Any other comments?
If I may. I just want to make sure, I know that there've been some site plan review discussions, and you've already said it, but just officially for the record, we're approving 11 display spaces, 1 customer, 1 employee, and 1 handicapped accessible
yes.
space. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. With no further comments, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the application filed by R.C. Chambers Hyannis Auto Store, LLC, DBA R.C. Chambers Hyannis Auto Store, 20 Bierces Road, Hyannis, for a new Class II auto dealer as submitted.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Congratulations.
Thank you. All right.
The next item is a new annual common victor license. In accordance with MGL Chapter 140, an application has been filed by Fashion Food LLC, DBA Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers at 715 West Main Street, Hyannis, for a new annual common victor license with Terrence Smiley as the manager. Proposal includes seating for 6 patrons, hours of operation daily from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Is there anyone here from Fashion Food LLC?
I am not seeing the applicant here. I don't know if you would prefer to move it to the end of the agenda and give him a few minutes, or continue it till April 15th.
Let's move it to the end of the agenda for the time being. The next item is a new annual entertainment license in accordance with MGL Chapter 140. An application has been filed by Milano Hospitality Group, LLC, DBA Milano Italian Kitchen on Main, 410 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new annual non-live entertainment license for 2 TVs and recorded music below conversational level. Is there anyone here from Milano Hospitality Group?
Chair, I think the same as Wendy's. I don't see the gentleman here. If we want to continue, or
All right,
April 15th, or till the end of the meeting.
let's postpone it at the moment to the end of the meeting. The next item is a new common vicular license in accordance with MGL Chapter 140. An application has been filed by 569 Seafood on Main, DBA 569 Seafood on Main at 569 Main Street, Unit 12D, Hyannis, for a new annual common vicular license with Karina Hernandez as the proposed manager, seating for 6 patrons inside and 26 outside, with hours of operation daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And you must be Karina.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning. So you're changing the name, is that?
Well, yes, we used to be on Mariachi Loco. We have now moved to a bigger spot within the same condo association location, just
Right.
a few steps back, and now we're just going to open this location as a whole separate
Seafood.
seafood. Yes, sir.
So you've gone from Mexican to
Seafood,
the
yeah.
ocean, huh?
What a jump, right? So it'll just be seafood, burgers, hot dogs, something nice, fast.
So you have inside seating as well as outside seating?
Just inside, there's only 6 chairs, mostly outside.
Do you have much takeout?
It will be mostly takeout, and then hopefully stay open year-round, keep that mostly takeout.
Are there any other comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I move to approve the application filed by 569 Seafood on Main, DBA 569 Seafood on Main, 569 Main Street, Unit 12D, Hyannis, for a new annual common victular license with Karina Hernandez as the proposed manager, seating for 6 patrons inside and 26 outside. Hours of operation daily will be from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you.
The next item is to amend an annual Section 12 all alcohol common victular license. In accordance with MGL Chapter 138 and MGL Chapter 140, an application has been filed by 473 Partners Restaurant LLC, DBA Wicked Willie's Sports and Tiki Bar, Wicked Willie's Fish and Chips and Raw Bar at 473 Main Street, Hyannis, to amend the premises description as follows. Structure A is a 1-story brick building with 715 square feet, 36 seats, kitchen, 2 handicap bathrooms, 2 entrance and exits, and an outdoor 400-square-foot seasonal patio with 20 seats. Structure B is a one-story brick building with a bar consisting of 567 square feet, 38 table seats and 12 bar seats, storage room, 2 handicap bathrooms, 2 entrance and exits, with an outdoor seasonal patio of 484 square feet with 48 seats. Is there anyone here from Willie's, Wicked Willie's?
Good morning, James Connors, here on behalf of the 473 Partners Restaurant LLC, doing business as Wicked Willie's, to be short on that. We're here, this is a third part of a process. We came in initially for a change of manager that had subsequently been approved. We also came in on a change of DBA, which has now just been approved as well. The third part is because there was some changing of the format of the business with a tiki bar and the restaurant portion. There was some alterations that had been made, and that's this portion of the application. I spoke with Ms. Logan regarding joining them all together or separating them, and it seemed to be the easiest because of the ongoing complexities that each be treated independently for convenience of the board and certainly of Ms. Logan and myself as well. The new manager, Louise Martinez, is here this morning. It's been drawn to my attention that there may have been some permits that have not been pulled for some of the work that has been accomplished. I spoke with the construction people the other day, and it was first indicated that some of the work was considered cabinetry work that did not require a permit. I didn't independently verify that. Mr. Martinez could address that a little bit more thoroughly, as well as the other permits that may or may not have been issued. And if you could speak on that.
Yes. Hello. So the construction company that is still in the process of doing renovations, the plumbing and electrical permit were both pulled last year. Plumbing on 11/4, the electrical on 10/9. And then, again, the contractor spoke with Kevin O'Neill from building saying that the bar itself being built was cabinetry, so therefore that didn't require a permit. Obviously...
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
My apologies. Do you need me to repeat any of that?
Bring it to you. Yeah.
So again, just to clarify, so the plumbing permit was pulled on 11/4. The electrical permit was pulled on 10/9. The contractor spoke with Kevin O'Neill from building for the bar itself being considered cabinetry. That did not require a permit for that actual housing. And as far as, final approval as such, we're waiting on the alteration of premise, as well as then obviously we go through the Board of Health. We have to do all of that before we have any operation, as well as a larger grease trap being put in by Cape Cod Engineering. We spoke to them on Monday. They were awaiting paperwork designating the building separate, which they've then received. So we'll have a start date on that. So before any operation can go through, obviously we'll have a final inspection, Board of Health. Permits have been pulled for the plumbing and electrical for the alteration.
Now, you're going to be manager of both A and B?
Correct. So while it's a split property, it's a very unique property, as we know. It's still under the one business model, and I will be in both buildings daily.
And there was an issue, too, with the grease trap.
Correct. So that is Cape Cod Engineering. That, again, we've contacted them on Monday. Everything's been approved. Now waiting for them to pull the permits, et cetera, for the company to begin with that process.
So I guess my question would be is to Aaron, we're approving something here that has a lot more to be approved by a lot more agencies, correct?
Correct. So I'm just looking at the permitting that's been submitted so far. The plumbing and gas inspector, you are correct that a plumbing permit was pulled, but not for the increase in fixtures that will allow you to have the increase in seating. So as far as he's concerned, that has not happened. I think the other concern was Just trying to look to see what the details were here.
You're gonna expand the grease pit.
Thank you. The grease trap expansion. So what they want to make sure is you are already in the works with permits before proceeding with approval. So again, the permit that was applied for, the plumbing permit, it does not look to me, and I am not, it's a plumbing permit, it's not something I look at all the time, so take this for, a little bit of, give me a little bit of grace here. But it's not, it doesn't appear that it's for the bathroom expansion. Let's see, it looks like there's one hand sink. I'm gonna have you work that out with him, because he's telling me, the plumbing and gas inspector has said that there's too many bathrooms provided. Wait, I'm sorry, no, the seating is too many for the bathrooms provided. He is only allowed 50 total, patron, staff, seasonal, in accordance with 248 CMR section 10.10. Clearly states the seasonal is counted as a total fixture count year-round.
If I may.
Sure, please.
Hence the grease trap. So the
Sure.
grease trap will be providing that enlargement for that, as well as, once we have the grease trap, then we can add additional bathrooms, which obviously we'll be pulling permits for. So under the current, we'll be within the guidelines currently. As the grease trap is added and the bathrooms, then we'll be able to come back and then expand the seating once work has been permitted, pulled, inspected.
That's what we are all hoping for, yes.
Yes.
That once those final approvals, or at least you're in the works of them, right? Ground has been broken for the grease trap. You can verify with Robert Duffy that he has the proper permits in place. Again, he had stated he does not. I do know this particular property, as obviously you're aware, also has the flats on Main. So when you look at the permitting history of this property, it's a minefield, and not your fault. It's just there's so much going on.
Very unique
So
property, absolutely.
right, and I don't want to misspeak on another division's process or where they're at, but I am being told that we're not there yet. We're not in a place yet where they feel comfortable for us to support approving today. Without knowing that, yes, the grease trap is happening, without having some type of a permit or contract in place or plans that have been approved to that end.
Understood, if I may.
Sure,
So the
please.
grease trap, the company that we'll be putting in, to my understanding, is the one's going to be pulling the permit, doing the work. So obviously, we're just waiting on that before we can give that to you folks, because they're the ones pulling the permit, not us as the business. So we'll be able to provide that shortly, as soon as that goes through.
Okay.
With regard to the email that was received regarding the seating as concerning the bathrooms, is that something that we're ahead of here?
So based on that email from Inspector Duffy, he is telling me he doesn't have the proper, and I had a conversation with him this morning as well, that he does not yet have the proper permits or plans in front of him to show that this is the next phase as far as plumbing and gas is concerned. And they did go through site plan review this fall, and I think there were quite a few things that needed to be changed. And I think sometimes maybe he's your old contractor now, maybe he's the one you're using. I think sometimes that individual might take the approval as we're okay, but it still needs individual approval, even though the whole site plan review committee approved it with contingencies. We still need to see a final plan of this is what we've kind of ironed out for our final moving forward. So it might not be a bad idea to have a conversation with plumbing and gas, and probably the health department as well, because will all overlap each other. I'm happy to facilitate that. I'm happy to put us either in the room together or a Zoom. Those folks are usually on the road, so Zoom might be more effective for them. They have a little bit more flexibility, but I'm happy to have that conversation. I think it's no surprise that I had recommended potentially continuing this matter until April 15th. That is the next licensing authority hearing, which might give time to bring everything into compliance in terms of plumbing and gas in the health division, where we can see that permits have been pulled for the final product here, because we do want to see you open and be ready for the summer. And
Yeah, I would say we're a little bit ahead of the schedule at the moment until we get more questions resolved, more approvals. I hate to have you keep coming back, but we got to do it, so. We'll put you on the calendar for April 15th, and you have to urge these contractors, whoever it is, to get shaken, because right after April 15th, they're going to be busy too. So, and I would also remind you that originally we were scheduled for the 22nd in April, but it's been changed to the 15th. So make sure that these guys get on the ball here for your benefit.
And with a continuance, we were not looking at a legal ad change. We're not looking at the same deadlines. So as long as permits are pulled prior to the start of this meeting, typically a week prior, so I can have information over to the board, great. So, please.
Would I need to resend the legal notices?
No, because the board is going to make a motion to continue this matter to the next meeting.
If I may ask a question, so is there a way to get a specific list of either through Aaron or through you folks, so that way, when I do come here, I have everything you need available, as far as obviously permits and whatnot? I just want to make sure when we come here, I have everything that you would need. If there...
We blame everything on Aaron. So, yes, I would strongly suggest you communicate with her, and she'll...
Okay, excellent, thank you.
And I think you as well, maybe I'll blame Aaron also because I'm on trial the 22nd, which is a Wednesday, and you've moved the hearing perhaps in accommodation to me.
You're welcome.
We'll see you on the 15th.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So,
I would also suggest maybe you reach out to Mr. Duffy directly.
Yes.
I know he has had conversation with other members of your organization, and that, in his words, this was explained to him very clearly, and he said he understood. So maybe if you have a conversation with him directly, you're going to know exactly what you need in place.
Yes, I'll be the point of contact on everything moving forward for everything. So,
Really appreciate
Yeah, thank you.
so, yeah. Thank-
And if I may, the corporate representative, Mr. Chamago, was on vacation. I would anticipate that he could be here on the 15th.
So some of these issues that are arisen are both for A and B? Do you have separate ones for?
For B, A has already been approved
A is
in operation.
already- okay.
This is for B,
Okay.
the continuance of the business.
All right.
If I may, before we close this off, it looks like, is it Captain Dalmau in the back of the room? All right. He does not want to come on. All right, we're good. We can just kindly make a motion to continue this matter till April 15th.
I make a motion to continue this application filed by 473 Partners Restaurant LLC, Wicked Willie's Sports and Tiki Bar, to be continued until April 15th.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. All right. Good luck.
Nice day.
Thank you for your
Good
time.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item is the consent agenda, and I noticed that I wanted to ask Officer Kelsey regard to police details, but the first one seems to be everything is inside on most of these ones that are involved here. Do we need police details for these items?
So are you referring to the special one-day consent agenda?
No,
or-
I'm on the one above that.
All right, so if,
We
The
don't need
seasonal
any
renewals?
We don't need any, yeah, the renewals.
no, not for the seasonal renewals.
And with regard to the one-day licenses?
All right, I did, oh, go ahead.
Just the west end, I don't know if we've done details.
Yeah, that's, I put the notes into OpenGov on those. All right, so if you want to go down the list, I don't know how you want to handle this for voting purposes, but I did insert my notes into OpenGov concerning all of the special one-day licenses. Some I would request police details, and others I would not. Typically, anything that has to do with alcohol being served on town-owned property, I've been requesting police details for that. And then every so often, there might be an event that's on private property, but it's going to cause a public safety issue due to traffic, and that's when we've requested police details for those as well. Looking at your list, starting with the Cheeky Schoolie tournament at the West End, we had requested a police detail, or recommended, I should say, that a police detail be requested due to the traffic at the West End Rotary, because they do sort of have an expansion of their footprint into the parking lot for service purposes for that event, and they do valet parking for that event, but there's a higher number of cars that are coming and going in pedestrian traffic for that event, and that's why we've recommended that they have to request a police detail.
All right. So do we want to vote separately, or we just wait till we get through and vote on all the ones that Officer Kelsey has proposed?
Well, I guess, do you want to do them together, or just do them one at a time for the ones that are requesting?
I think in the past, we've just
Just added onto it?
Details as
Okay.
required by Detective Kelsey.
All right, so for the West End, I would recommend one police detail during the hours of operation for this event.
Okay.
Moving on to the next one, which would be the Rockwell Amusements. That would be the next one that I would request or recommend police details for. Historically, we have asked for 2 police details during all hours of operation for this event.
Okay, it seems like those are the only ones that we need. Can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as printed with the, including the police detail for each of the West End events and for all of the events for the Rockwell Amusements? We want 2 police details.
So I make a motion to accept the consent agenda as printed, with the exception of the West End 20 Scudder Ave Hyannis Cheeky Schoolie Tournament, 12:15 and 5:16 and 5:15 from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. 1 police detail, and 5:15 from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. 1 police detail. And for the Rockwell Amusements, 180 Falmouth Road, Hyannis, Spring Carnival, 2 police details for all hours of operation.
Okay. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's carried. Let's go back to see if there's anyone here, which obviously there isn't, for the motion for, I think it was Wendy's Old Fashioned, actually Fashion Food LLC, doing business at Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers. Appearing that there's no one here, I propose that we move that to April 15th. Does that mean they can't be open?
So they've actually been opened. Their
Yeah.
dining room is closed. So they're open for drive-through only at this point.
Okay.
And that's how the business will remain until, excuse me, Charles? Yes. Please come have a seat. Until they get approval for the common victular. And quite frankly, I think the intent was really never to have this restaurant be a sit-down.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
they're, I have reached out to both applicants. One is here for the Milanos right now. But yeah, with Wendy's, if we can make a motion to continue,
Yeah, let's have a
they can keep the drive-through at this time.
motion on Wendy's.
I make a motion to move the application filed by Fashion Food LLC to April 15th.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And the next one we have is Milano Hospitality Group LLC, and we have someone here from that.
Hello.
And that is with 410 Main Street for a new annual non-live entertainment license for 2 TVs and recorded music below conversational level. Okay. You are the manager?
I'm the chef there.
Chef there?
Yes.
Okay. I don't believe are there any issues?
We have no concerns.
No concerns? All right.
I move to approve the application filed by Milano's Hospitality Group LLC, DBA Milano's Italian Kitchen on Main, 410 Main Street, Hyannis, for a new annual non-live entertainment license for 2 TVs and recorded music below conversational level.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You got it. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
And licensing updates, licensing authority and program updates.
Deep breaths. Okay, so I don't have much to remind folks of, other than seasonals are still in process. We have a few establishments that don't open until Memorial Day, so expect that the remaining alcohol seasonals will be forthcoming. Junk dealers open up as well, so those should be on the next agenda. And just a reminder to everyone who holds an alcohol license that the annual Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission / Town of Barnstable compliance meeting will be held on April 29th. It will be mandatory and will run from approximately 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at Cape Cod Community College. And more information will be coming out this week via email.
Okay, with regard to the 29th, I had both licensing board meeting and the annual meeting with the ABCC.
So we don't have a licensing authority meeting,
So-
but we will have a section of that 3-hour or 2-hour period of time will be a presentation by the state for everyone, for board members, for staff, and for alcohol licenses.
So that's the portion that involves us.
Correct, yep.
All right.
And then we will be holding our alcohol applicants, or, I'm sorry, licensees, and asking them to stay to the end. And we'll then, myself and Detective Kelsey will have our annual compliance meeting.
Right. And the meeting from the 22nd has been changed to the 15th of April.
Correct, and the agenda has been amended online, so anyone accessing your hearing and deadline schedule, it does reflect April 15th now.
All right. Police department updates?
As we're getting closer to summer, as we just started the spring, we'll be working with Aaron, obviously, to prepare for this annual meeting, but I will also be working closely with our police administration as well as our shift commanders to bring our patrol officers up to speed on some of the requirements and compliance, especially with our licensed bars and nightclubs. We started to do this a little bit last year. If you remember, Lieutenant Labor attended the annual meeting, who was at that point the shift commander for the midnight shift. And I will be talking with him again to expand on basically just sharing information. He did a great job with doing some roll call training for his shift, and we'd like to expand that probably to the 4 to 12 shift at least this year. At least that's my hope, and that's what I'll be speaking with him about, to sort of bring more information department-wide instead of just relying on one person. So that's my thought. Obviously, I still have to clear that with my supervisors, but I just wanted to share that with you as well. I would love to see more people not get involved in the day-to-day, but to have more information, whereas they are truly the boots on the ground out there every single day. So as much as we can share with them, the better it's going to be for everybody.
Very good. Thank you. Any other matters?
I think I have nothing else to add right now.
All right. Having none, can I have a motion to amend, or to cancel the meeting into April 15th?
I make a motion to adjourn until April 15th.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See you on the 15th.